Welcome back. If you're taking a look at this video, you already have 6Jam, the part created and saved in your H drive. Today we're going to take and show you how to run the tool pass and prepare this to be cut on the CNC mill. To start with, let's go up to the top. Let's go to Open from our ribbon bar at the top. Go to your H drive and find your 6Jam part and select Open. Once we have our part open, we need to take and switch our ribbon bar here at the top. We're going to come across the top above the ribbon bar from File to Sketch, and we're going to come across to the Cam tab, C-A-M, Cam. And the first thing we need to do is set this part up. So we're going to click our Setup folder in the Jobs section right here. Click Setup. Okay? When we first created this part, the first thing we did was create this square that's in the back here. And that origin was on that bottom, or the top of that bottom left-hand corner here. Okay, however, we put this triangle on top, so we need this origin to be right here. We're going to leave this on stock box point, and we're just going to select the top of this bottom left-hand rectangle. Okay, and that moves our origin over to here. These tabs that are here with these ones that we're going to do, we always work from left to right, and each tab section we're going to look at from top to bottom. So we changed our origin, stock box point, top, bottom left hand corner. We're going to go to our next tab, which is our stock setup. We're going to keep this at relative size box. However, we're going to change where it says additional stock. We're going to go to no additional stock added. Okay? Then we're going to go across to our third tab. In this third tab, we're going to highlight the 1001, and you're going to change that to your last name and 6Jam. Okay? Once you have that finished, you're at the bottom of the screen, you're going to click OK. The next thing we're going to do is tell the machine how we want this part to be cut. So we're going to take and cut this bottom of the square on both sides of these and the inside of this triangle. So to do that, we're going to come up to our 2D milling area, and we're going to go to Pocket, 2D Pocket right here, and we're going to identify our tool. Remember, these tabs at the top, we're going across from left to right, and we're going to take a look at each one of these tabs from top to bottom here. So I'm going to identify my tool, select the tool button. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to go to Butler MS Tool Library, click on tool number 2, 1/4 inch flat, and click Select. Okay, that shows you the icon of your tool bit here. Next, we're going to go across to our Geometry tab. And this is where we're going to select what we want to be cut. I want the top surface of the square on this side, and the top surface of the square on the right side as well. I also want the bottom inside of the center triangle. Make sure you're on the bottom surface of that triangle, and that's what's highlighted. And click to select it. Next, we're going to go across to our third tab, where we're going to establish our heights. Just like we did before, we're going to go to Stock Top and change these to 0.2. So the clearance height, retract height, and feed height, we're all changing to Stock Top and 0.2. Okay? Stock Top 0.2, Stock Top 0.2, Stock Top 0.2. Very good. Next, we're going to go across to our fourth tab. In here, we're going to take and we're going to select multiple depths, and we're going to change the maximum roughing step down. Highlight that area there, and we're going to change that to 0.25, which is a 1/4 inch. Then we're going to scroll down a little bit further in this menu, and the checkbox in front of Stock to Leave, we're going to uncheck that box because we don't want any stock left over. We want it to cut up right next to our part. Okay, that one looks good. Let's go across to our final tab here. This is our linking tab. In here, we're going to uncheck for lead-ins or leads-in transitions. We're going to uncheck lead-in. We're going to uncheck lead-out. And we're going to change our entry ramp style from helix. We're going to change that to plunge. Once you have those selections made, click OK. It's going to generate your tool pass up here on the side. Once that's finished, we have our pockets done. The next thing that we're going to do is a drilling operation where we're going to drill these 3 holes that are in each of the corners of the triangles. For that, we're going to come up to the drilling section of our ribbon bar, and we're going to click drill. Once again, these tabs from left to right, and each tab we're going to take a look at from top to bottom. We're going to re-identify our tool. The reason we need to do this is down here, do you see where it says retract feed rate? You got some red numbers down here. So we're just going to take and re-identify our tool. Click the tool button, scroll all the way to the bottom, Butler MS tool library, tool number 2, 1/4 inch flat. Click select. Okay, now that red area has disappeared. Let's go to our next tab over where we're selecting our geometry. Here you're going to take and you're going to select all 3 of the holes. It doesn't matter what order you select them in, the computer is going to decide which one and the order they get drilled in and which one is first. Let's go to our third tab over, establishing our heights. Once again, we're pretty familiar with this by now. We're doing stock top and point 2, stock top point 2, and stock top and point 2. Going across to your fourth tab, this one here we're just going to check and tell you about it. It's a drilling cycle and it's going to rapid retract out when we're done. Okay, so we're not going to change anything there. At the bottom of this menu, click OK. Now the only thing we have left to do on this part is to take and cut these 2 slots that are in here. Before we start talking about how to cut these, we're going to take and first rotate this. So I click my orbit tool, my rotate tool, and I'm going to turn this just so I can see the bottom edge in each one of these slots. Okay, so I can see the bottom edge in there. I'm going to press escape to let go of the rotate tool, or I'm going to click rotate icon again to let go of that. Then I'm going to come up to our 2D milling area, and the bottom of the words where it says 2D milling, I'm going to click on that pull down arrow and I'm going to go to slot. Okay, once again we're going to take and identify our tool because you can see that we have some red numbers that are in here and those red numbers are bad, so we're just going to select our tool button. We're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, Butler MS tool library, tool number 2, click select. Now our numbers are correct in here. Going across to our next tab where we're selecting our geometry. This is why I had you take and rotate this part so we could see those bottom edges. If you have to, zoom in on here, and I want the bottom of that slot to be selected. Make sure you're not selecting the top, we want the bottom selected. We want the bottom selected on that left one and on the right one as well. Once you have those chosen, click home in your world view cube and you can see that those are on the bottom of that part. Let's move across to our third tab where we establish our height. And I bet you guessed it again, we're going to go to the stock top and point 2, stock top point 2, and our stock top and point 2. So these top 3, stock top point 2. Our fourth tab over. Okay, this all looks good. We're not going to have multiple depths because that's not thick enough for us and we don't have any stock to leave. Let's go to our final tab over. And in here, everything looks good as well. So we're going to take and click OK. After we have that generated, we're going to come up to the top and we're going to select post-process. From the post-process, we're going to make sure that this is going to our H drive. So make sure you click on the box here and select your H drive if it doesn't already select it. Select your H drive, select folder. We already have your last name and 6 jam in there, so we're going to select post. Click save. And we're going to have a file editor open up where it has all of our M and G codes and X and Y coordinates. We're going to come up to the top here and we're going to close this window out. That brings us back to our inventor drawing. We're going to come up to the top and select simulate. Click the box to turn your stock on. And then we're going to click play. And as this part cuts, it's going to go through and it's going to cut all the areas out. Then it's going to take and drill the holes. and it's going to cut our slots. Okay, once this finishes playing, we're going to take and close our window out for our simulate. We're going to go up to our orange file, go down to save to save this part, file, save, and now you're ready to take and cut this part on the CNC mill. So let your teacher know that you're ready to cut this part. Go on over and log on to the computer with the CNC mill connected to it, and you're ready to load this part up and cut it. Great job, especially with those slot creations, and be able to cut that out. We'll see you next time on Jam number 7.